Hello there. Yesterday, I went to see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and now I want to talk to you about it. It's an animated action-adventure sequel to the hit film Into the Spider-Verse. It comes to you from a creative team of directors, Kemp Powers, Justin K. Thompson, and Joaquim dos Santos. It was written by 3 writers as well, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Dave Callahan. It features even more actors than writers and directors, starting with Shameik Moore as Miles Morales, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, and Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara. It also sees most of the original cast return for short appearances and features a plethora of new characters such as Hobby, played by Daniel Kaluuya, and the villain Spot, played by Jason Schwartzman. This film is a long one at 2 hours and 20 minutes of runtime. It features 3 distinct storylines and a ton of side stories. The first major story follows Gwen Stacy as she introduces herself and her situation. We find out how she became Spider-Woman, how Peter Parker died, how she grew apart from her father, and how she came to be recruited by the multiversal Spider-Men. Then it switches over to the second story, which takes place in Miles' timeline, and we watch as he lives his daily life, fighting crime in Brooklyn and trying and failing to make his daily life work. He wants to go to university, but is struggling to maintain a balance between his spider life and his real life. When a new villain called Spot shows up, Miles finds himself unable to rid himself of this silly foe. When Gwen Stacy shows up out of the blue, the two take him on together. Miles soon finds himself pulled into the world of the Spider-Men and traveling the multiverse. The third storyline involves Gwen and Miles teaming up with the other Spider-Men in order to stop Spot. In the process, a fight breaks out over how to be a hero, and soon the different Spider people find themselves in an all-out Spider war. The 3 different storylines are interwoven throughout the film. We see a conclusion to Gwen's story, but Miles' story and the multiverse story end up being left unfinished. The movie ends with a giant cliffhanger and tells us the characters and stories will resume in the next installment. The story as a whole is a bit of a fantastical mess with a lot of convoluted explanations about how the multiverse and timelines work, but at the heart of that mess is a bunch of emotional tales about acceptance. Miles and Gwen are both struggling with telling their parents the truth about being Spider-Men, and throughout the film they both work on building their confidence up and learning from the other Spider people. The film spends a lot of time developing Miles and Gwen, and dedicates a bit of time to setting up each of the surrounding characters as well. We're introduced to Miguel O'Hara and the multiversal Spider-Men, learn about Spot's origins, and find out about Universe 42 and the Prowler from there. There is a lot of humor, a lot of action, and some great emotions coming from Miles, Gwen, Miguel, and the different parental figures in all of their lives. It's a highly exciting story with a lot going on, and there's never a dull moment. Visually, this film is amazing. Each and every moment of the animation is a wonder to look at. The screen is filled with vibrant colors, visual spectacles, and the film pushes the medium to its limits. They had a ton of different appearances and looks for the different Spider-Men in their respective universes, and each new Spider-Man introduced was more elaborate than the last. The movement was fluid, especially the web swinging sequences, and the battles were highly creative light shows that saw each webhead deploy their own unique style. The journey is easy to follow and highly entertaining. There are also a number of different scenes that stand out as spectacular. The battle sequences are all highly unique, energetic, and impactful. The swinging sequences are fun, and they get to show off some amazing landscape settings and views. They even went out of their way to make little moments feel special by inserting a ton of random jokes and references into the background of the film for the audience to pick out and enjoy. Sound-wise, the film is even better than the visuals. The soundtrack is filled with original tracks and scored music. Each song feels handcrafted to perfectly conform to the scenery and amplify the emotions within. There's music from a ton of different genres like cyberpunk, techno, rap, Spanish, guitar, and pop. It's behind every scene and it ebbs and flows with the moment. When characters are talking, it recedes into the background and becomes a song on the radio, then it comes back in to fill out the emotions during the silence. During battle sequences, it's there front and center carrying you through the action and hyping up every moment. If the Guardians of the Galaxy movies did music well, this film did music perfectly. I felt like I had gone to a concert and enjoyed every second of it. The cast does an incredible job of bringing their characters to life and fleshing out the world. Unfortunately, there are too many actors to name them all, but the truth is that most of them are doing an impressive job. Even the side characters who appear for a few seconds are almost always funny. The real standouts of the film are Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, and Oscar Isaac. Moore and Steinfeld get the most screen time and dialogue of anyone, and Isaac is a close runner-up. Shameik Moore plays Miles Morales, and in this film he gets to do a good mix of Spider-Man joke dialogue during the fights, which he nails, and a lot of emotional character building. Miles is going through a tough time, and Moore plays the character with a lot of depth. Haley Steinfeld plays Gwen Stacy, and like Moore does a lot of jokey dialogue and a lot of character building. Gwen is going through a similar problem to Miles, but unlike Miles, she found help in the multiversal Spider-Men. Steinfeld does well with the emotional parts and provides detailed exposition dumps in an entertaining way. Oscar Isaac makes his appearance early into the film and then disappears until toward the end. His character is a good mix of serious with a side of silly. Unlike the other Spider-Man, he doesn't really joke, but when he does, Isaac does it in a somewhat mocking tone. He manages to set the character apart from the other Spider-Man with his tone and serious nature, and Isaac did a good job with Miguel trying to open up to Miles. Overall, I really enjoyed Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's got amazing visuals and soundtrack, the voice acting is sharp and full of emotion, and even though the story has both feet in the deep end of the crazy pool, it's really exciting. There technically isn't anything experimental about this film, but the level of detail they went into with the art and the sound honestly made me consider giving them the point for a while. It's that well done. 8 out of 10. And remember, those are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Bye bye!